and then they have to cut half their staff, and then they get bought by a big studio, or they get pretty much published by a big studio with half the staff and no money, and they're just like, okay, let's make a game that's we've never made before.
Right. Yeah, I'm really excited to check out Life is Strange, especially the new one. I heard True Colors is really good.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'm definitely eager to get into it. But what else have you been playing over the past week or so? Week, 2 weeks, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, I guess at this point, well, I beat some games. If you guys have been following my list, I ended up beating Demon Souls on the 21st, and I ended up beating Slime Rancher before it left Game Pass on the 29th. Other than that, I picked up, I haven't played Dreamlight Valley actually in a while, and that's about to rotate, and potentially we get a new character here soon. But other than that, nothing major really. I forgot, I guess I did beat a game since the last podcast, and I might not have mentioned it, but Breathage.
Hmm.
So that was pretty cool. That's a game from like 2018, but it got put on Game Pass, and I was like, might as well give it a shout.
Right, right. Yeah, that's definitely dope for sure. And we also checked out Grounded today, which is our first time playing it, I think, but for both of us. And it's interesting. Like, there's so much to it. Like,
Hmm.
there's like a lot of depth that went into this game, and to be honest, I don't
It's
expect anything less. It's coming from Obsidian Entertainment, so it's a pretty solid
Yeah,
game so
it
far.
it feels really well thought out. I just some of the sort of hurdles feel like they'd be super difficult if you didn't have a full group. Like a game makes it feels like it's supposed to be a four-player game.
Hmm.
Like if you play it with less than four people, then it just doesn't feel good in the same way. It just feels like there's just so much to do.
Right. But yeah, man, some other games I checked out. Obviously, I continue to play You Suck at Parking. That game is just so much fun. I don't know if you had time to check it out yet, but
I
uh,
haven't yet.
you definitely got to check it out. And I'm like, there's tons of levels in there. I was just like, what the fuck? I can beat this, and you keep trying it and trying it and trying it like over and over and over, and you're like, man, I don't know, I'm about to give up. No, I still want to play. Like it's that kind of feeling of a game.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's been fun. I recently played and beat Inside. I beat that in about 2 days, and I got a review and playthrough coming out this week. Actually, coming up, so be on the lookout for that. That was actually a really good game, and what an ending to a game! One of those complete cliffhangers that leaves it up to
Hmm.
the gamer's like own personal interpretation of what happened, and it kind of leaves it open to like if they want to build off of it, they theoretically could, but they've never built off of their previous games. Like they went from Limbo, they went to Inside, they have a new game in the works. So like none of them ever connect, but they all
Hmm.
have it like that creepy vibe. Like what is going on? Let me solve. So nonetheless,
They're
that was a
dark.
good game. Yeah, it's a dark game. It was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it though. Regardless, the puzzles were unique and just fun and creative. The other game I've been playing though is Assassin's Creed 2, which I decided to whenever I play it, I'm just going to stream it. Not really going to put much advertisements out there for it. Just make sure you follow me on my Twitch channel. So if you guys want to see that playthrough, that game's been fun and it actually looks really good. And honestly, it's one of the best parkour games that I've played in the Assassin's Creed collection like so far. Like it feels
Honestly,
smooth.
it was one of the pinnacles followed by Brotherhood that I think really sold it. Chef's Kiss. It just was so good. I
Like
think after we hit Brotherhood, the franchise kind of takes a downward spiral where it starts smelling its own farts and it really just stops caring.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So definitely be on the lookout for my stream of that. I am going to be starting up the new game that recently came to Game Pass as well, Metal Hellsinger. It's a quick indie game. It should take about like 4 or 5 hours to beat, and it's like a shooter game, kind of like Doom, but you gotta kill to the beat or shoot to the beat to like hard metal rock music. So it's going to be a different type of game I've ever played, but I'm
Yeah,
really excited to check it
it
out.
looks good.
I heard really good things about it. So apparently it's on some people's like indie game of the year as well. So I'm definitely excited for that one. But the other two games, obviously, we played Valorant last week on Monday, and we got our stream tomorrow. So we've been playing that here and there, and we're actually going to be playing after the podcast. And of course, Call of Duty. I'm hopping in there from time to time. We hopped in and played Warzone, and I
Okay, be
played.
honest, dude. I was super drunk when we played it. It was so much fun. It was like genuinely, I wasn't like, yeah, I got mad at the game, but like, who doesn't get mad at Call of Duty for stupid shit? Like, even you're just like 30 kills and you're like, fucking game, fuck this, fuck that guy. I'm like, yeah, I know, I feel it. But like, it actually genuinely felt pretty good. Like, I'm excited for the new Call of Duty. I might actually pre-order it for once,
T minus
just
26
because it
days.
yeah, like it actually genuinely felt pretty well thought out. And like some of
And
the content I saw there is like we can see all the kit floats and water. Like,
Hmm.
so are we actually going to be able to start to see water-based combat and stuff like that? Really, which not many shooters do.
Yeah, Call of Duty's been doing it for a while since Black Ops 3 with the underwater combat.
Hmm.
So that's always an interesting take, especially because like firing a gun underwater doesn't really work the way it works in Call of Duty. Like it shouldn't work the way it
Yeah,
does. So it's always
but it
like, but
does. But it's Call of Duty.
yeah, it's Call of Duty. It's an arcade shooter. Let's just have fun with it. But definitely, I don't know like if you know, but if you pre-order Modern Warfare 2, you get the beta a week, or not the beta, geez, the campaign a week earlier before the game actually releases. So it gives you
Yeah,
that
so you
time
can
to play the campaign, and then
play it
when
so
the
you're
game
not
comes
like
out, you can
struggling.
yeah,
Yeah.
so you can hop right in and you can start sweating with the rest of the
I'm
guys.
really
So
thinking about it, dude, because like I might sweat through that campaign just so that I'm ready for launch week, and I might just play that for a while. Maybe
right.
put Valorant down for a few weeks and just play some Call of Duty.
Yeah, honestly, you got to get Modern Warfare 2019 and play through that story mode because that is a really really good campaign and it's
Are
so
they gonna be
lifelike and realistic
are
and
they gonna be direct continuation of the story, or is
pretty
it a new
much
one?
it like builds off
Okay.
of what happened at the end of the first one. So I would definitely recommend playing it.
Well, okay.
And it's some
So
really hard wrenching shit. Like when you're clearing buildings in that game, it really felt like you clearing a motherfucking building, like
mhm.
in real life. And I was just like, damn. And there's some choices that you got to make in the game too, and you're like, oh, damn. So definitely check it out as soon as you can. But nonetheless, Roger, let's get into the game releases that are coming out this week. Kind of a short week. There's not really many big hitters
There's only
except
one
maybe like
game really coming out.
yeah.
Like, let's be honest here. So, first thing we've got Dakar Desert Rally, which is just a small racing game, really. It comes out for the all consoles and PC on the 4th.
Hmm.
And then we've got Deathverse, Let It Die, which comes out for PC on October 5th. We've got Nier Automata finally getting a Switch release on October 6th. And then we've got No Man's Sky getting a Switch release on October 7th. And then this week's core game that's releasing is Overwatch 2. So Overwatch servers went down today. The last day to play Overwatch, the original game, was yesterday.
Hmm.
So if you missed out, you're not going to be able to play Overwatch until the new one releases on Tuesday. So October 4th, you'll be seeing Overwatch 2 hit all consoles. That's 5, XNS, 4, 1, Switch, and the PC. It is free to play. You do not need to buy it like you previously had to. It is 5-on-5 combat now instead of 6-on-6, as we've
Hmm.
covered before. And if you want to buy the season pass, it is $40.
Yeah, but what does that come with? Because it's not just the battle pass when you buy that.
That is correct. It is you're going to get 2,000 Overwatch coins, which is their pay to win currency. Not pay to win, but their currency, in-game currency. You get 7 legendary skins. You also get the battle pass, the premium battle pass for season 1, as well as I think a few other unlockables. I didn't get the full list, but that's
Yeah, yeah,
the
that's the
major
gist of it.
parts.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than our Overwatch 2 this week, that's the only heavy hitter. But honestly, it's cool though to see games like Nier Automata and No Man's Sky come into the Switch finally. The Switch is just going.
Yeah.
It's like the Switch is like a collaboration of like all games from all time, like time eras. Like it has PlayStation One games.
Everyone's like, I want my game to be mobile, and there's no other way to make it mobile other than the Steam Deck or for you to put it on, or for it to show up here.
Right.
And, at this point, yeah, we have some cool news about mobile gaming, but there really isn't much in the way of mobile gaming other than the Switch. Like, that's true above beyond everyone else. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the Steam Deck, I've heard some good things about it, but even then, like, some games just still don't run on it, even though they're approved for it.
Right. It all comes down to like your interference and your Wi-Fi strength and all that other stuff behind it. And even if it was completely optimized correctly for the Steam Deck.
Yeah. All right. So, like, we've got some like out of left field industry news. So let's just start with the big heavy hitter that's actually surprising and scary at the same time.
Yeah, because a lot of things could happen from this, but Saudi Arabia announced that they're investing 37 billion dollars into gaming, and that was announced by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Not sure if I pronounced that last part correctly, but
Solomon.
um, and this is also the same guy who like basically executed that journalist like live on TV as well. For those who
Whoa,
don't
whoa,
know,
you can't say he did that.
right? You can't say he did it, but
Yes,
you know, more or less. More that's exactly what he did. But they are also have already put in a roughly about $13 billion into acquisitions and development of leading game publishers to become like a strategic partner. So basically, they are also investing $18 million towards minority
Billion,
investments.
18 billion.
18 billion, sorry, in towards minority investments, which is huge because like out of all of this to me is a highlight because the minority in gaming is something that's on the rise and needs to be more more like people got to look at it more. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But out of all of this, though, they do expect to establish 250 game companies, create 39,000 jobs. That's a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
250
And
game
like,
companies? That's a lot, dude.
yeah, it's a lot. And like 1 billion of that money is going to Embracer Group alone.
Right. And then they already have money invested into companies like EA, Take Two, Activision, Nintendo, and apparently like a whole bunch more. And I'm just like, they have their hands in like almost every part of
Yeah.
gaming.
Yeah, so usually when Saudi Arabia gets involved in an investment, they do it because they know it's going to make a lot of money. They're not getting into gaming for gaming's sake. They're getting into gaming for the money.
Yeah.
That's where the money is. It's the number one entertainment industry in the world. Movies, TV, that shit can't keep up with it anymore.
Nope. Like I said, I say it all the time. Music, movies, and TV combined cannot even overtake gaming. That's how big gaming is. And we know how big all of those other markets really are. But just to put it into perspective, all three of them combined can't compete with gaming.
Yeah. And let's not take for granted that all these will come become a success. Let's talk about something that isn't a success.
Yeah, Google. They shut down their Google Stadia, and this is funny enough because when I put it in the chat, you were like, "Wait, I thought it was already shut down," and I was like,
And I
"No,
was like,
there was rumors of
memeing,
it.
yeah,
There was rumors of
yeah,
it, and here it is. It's official. Google Stadia is no more." And interesting part throughout of all of this is they're refunding everything that you bought or whatever from the Google store. They can't. They're not going to give refunds if you bought games from like GameStop or Best Buy or
yeah.
any other sites that worked on the Google
If you
Stadia.
bought it from them as a first person party, you get your money back.
Right. So like, not only are you cutting off a direct source of income from Google Stadia, whether even if it was very little, but now you're paying out money. Like I don't see how this was a smart
You're just
move.
taking the L.
Yeah, you're taking a
It's a
hard L.
publicity stunt. Well, we talk about bad PR moves, and we'll talk about a huge bad PR move in a second here, but like it's just good PR. Google needs good PR, and they need to make sure they stay in the forefront of everyone's mind as a good guy. And whether or not they are, because they do morally gray things in the world, but
Hmm.
Google made a good play here, and I gotta be like, hey man, you didn't have to do that. And
Yeah,
that's awesome.
but we
Because like
also.
people are making memes there where like the guy who dries his eyes with dollar bills or whatever, they're like the me when Google Stadia goes out of business drying his eyes with his money. And I was like, all right, yeah, you're right. You're getting your money back.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. And but we can't forget though like where the gaming industry is at now. It's all about
Mhm.
cloud gaming. It's moving towards cloud gaming, and Google Stadia was one of the first pioneers to go into that realm and take that first step into it and go full into it as well. Like full investment. Let me make this platform. We're gonna do cloud gaming. They but the problem is that they didn't follow up with the features that they announced. They had features for Google Stadia where like if you were watching a YouTube video of someone playing through a game in a certain level, and if you wanted to pick up where they were playing at, you could click a button and it would play. It would put you into that game at that specific point, and then you'd be able to play. That's a very
Yeah.
futuristic feature, but that never came to fruition. So
And
you
yeah, we
didn't
can
promise,
see why.
right? Yeah, you didn't promise. You didn't come to any of your promises. So it's like,
And
they're
that's probably why they gave it up because they were like, wow, the feasibility of the things we promised are just unrealistic. And so, honestly, I'm all for Google doing what they're doing. It doesn't seem like a bad move because they just don't want to invest the money into it. They're making way, way more money doing the correct things than trying to start a whole new industry. Why compete with people like Sony or Microsoft?
right, definitely. But we were just talking about bad PR moves, and of course, PlayStation just never fails to come into the news with more bad PR stuff here. So, their new Stars program that rolled out recently, they are giving top members that pay the most, I guess, into this program a priority in customer support. And I was just like, there's no way that you would really come out of here and just do that. And like, I understand like they're thinking they were probably like, oh yeah, this is like a good move. Like if you pay more, obviously like you care more, so we want to care more about you. I get the whole idea, but like, what about the people who can't afford to pay more and just need that basic support? Now they're going to be on the back burner, take forever to get their support, and then turn around they might not even want to be part of PlayStation anymore because of it.
Like, yeah, I agree, but honestly, we just need to see the turnaround time difference.
Hmm.
I need to see like numbers because it's not a Blizzard queue. Let's be honest here. Like Blizzard support, people open tickets in World of Warcraft and the return time on a ticket is up to 14, 21 days. That's 2 or 3 weeks
That
to
would
get a
suck.
question answered by tech support. That's insane.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe you wait an extra hour or two. I bet it's not going to add days to your time because I've all like the last time I opened a PlayStation ticket, it got answered same day, so it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But Twitch is back in the news. No big surprise. They've been on a roll here. But this one isn't good or bad per se. But they have restricted browser support to just Chrome, Edge, and Firefox. Which, if you're using anything else outside of those three, then I might question you personally. That's just me. But
Well, you're a Safari man, right?
no, I use Chrome
You don't
on.
use Safari on your phone?
Oh yeah, my phone, but I don't cause like the Chrome doesn't really work that well on the iPhone. Like
Yeah.
I feel like they don't put enough effort into optimizing it for the phone, and
Well, I don't
everything.
think they care because they're an Android.
Right. So I mean, it is what it is on that. So like my phone is the only one I use Safari for, but everything else it's Chrome or Edge because Xbox uses the Edge browser.
hmm
So you got any take on that at all?
No, I just think it's interesting. It helps them kind of narrow it down because there are so many web browsers out there. So I think it's a little unnecessary to worry about them all.
Right. One that I'm actually surprised they didn't include was the Opera browser because I know they have Opera has an Opera gaming browser which is supposed to be like more um, fine tuned for that kind of stuff, and Twitch is gaming, Opera gaming. Like I just feel like it would have made sense to include them, but I guess not. I guess it's not that big.
Opera is a shitty browser to begin with, so like why even support it? It
Yeah.
just yeah, I think it's not worth it to be honest.
Hmm. Next up, though, E3 came out and just had an announcement. We know that they're coming back, but they have a revamped format apparently, where they're going to include like all of the events that happened before and after their show into their show. But from June 13th to the 16th is actual E3 that is actually hosted by them specifically, and the 13th and the 14th is reserved for businesses only. So like the press are going to be the ones that are going to be there, like IGN and GameSpot and all them other ones. And then the 15th welcomes both business and consumers. But what's awesome here is that on the 16th, they're making it available to dedicated to the consumers only. So it'll free it up the space. So each kind of person gets their own separate times, which is
Yeah,
nice
we
to
get
see.
the announcements before all the people are there, so all the big, industry insiders, everyone can get that information, and then the consumers can come in and demo things.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a good turnout for sure. Obviously, we know Jeff Keighley has the games summer games fest going on around that time as well. So they'll go head to head, and we'll see who comes out better. Which we all probably know that answer. But speaking of Jeff Keighley, he did announce that for the Game Award show that comes out, or the show's during December 8th this year, the public is actually invited for the first time since 2019, and tickets go on sale this November 1st at around 9 o'clock Pacific time, so noon Eastern time. So that's pretty cool. I'm just curious to see how much those tickets are. I know they're probably through the roof because it's like more of like a red carpet kind of event. My
Yeah,
my guess is it'll probably be at least what 3, 4, maybe 5 at least.
probably.
So we'll follow up with that in about a month or so when those tickets go on sale. We'll check out the prices and check back in regards to that. But this one here was actually pretty surprising. Like you said it right from the jump. We got a lot of news that came from left field, and again, this one to me felt like it came from left field. But Netflix is establishing their first internal game studio. It's going to be located in Helsinki, Finland, and the studio director is Marco Lastica. And I don't like they didn't really announce anything behind it, like what's their first game, like where's it coming to, is it only Netflix, like any of that kind of information other than like this will be like one of their big game studios, like so hopefully like a AAA style game from Netflix.
hmm
So there's not much to go on there from that. Not all they said was, hey, games take a while to make, so probably don't expect to hear anything from us for the next couple of years. Simple as that. But they Netflix also announced that you can establish your Netflix gamer tag, and you can sign up for it right now. So whenever you're playing like online games via Netflix, you'll be able to have your own profile and your name and stuff like that. So
There you go.
it's cool, but probably nothing that me or you will ever have.
Yeah.
Moving on though, Hazelite Studios. I know this one might be exciting for you because these are the developers behind It Takes Two, the wonderful game from last year, and they announced that they are hard at work on their next game. So no other details in regards to that. So be on the lookout for any new details that comes out in regards to their upcoming game. Next up, we're back to the portable game cloud gaming market, and they did announce there was
We
two
got two things.
two big announcements this week. So a company by the name of 1X Player announced a new AMD 6800 powered handheld. It is a 7-inch display, and pre-orders are available now with four different prices. But before I go over to prices, let me get the I'll get it up here for you guys. This will be what it looks like. So kind of reminds me of like a Razer one with like the
So a
colors.
Steam Deck.
Yeah, more or less.
It's everyone's gonna do the same thing. It looks like a Steam Deck. It looks like a Switch. That's what it is.
Yeah, so they
It's
got
like honestly, the Switch is patented pretty much the best design. So
Yeah, so they got the 1X player to 8.4 inch, and then they also have the 1X player mini. So they got two
why
different
buy the
versions.
mini when it's more expensive for the mini? Like get it on sale if you're gonna get it, I guess.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And let me see what else they got because they were showcasing some other stuff in regards to this. They also
We're
had the
looking at
pricing.
the 16 gigabyte RAM with 512 internal storage. That's $900. They've got a 16 gigabyte RAM with 1 terabyte internal storage for 1019. They've got a 16 with a 2 terabyte for 1170 and a 32 gigabyte RAM with 2 terabyte internal for 1269.
This is actually awesome that it has the that kind of storage. It's not like the Logitech handheld that we talked about. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, where that one is just strictly cloud based. So you won't be able to download
Hmm.
any games locally onto it. Where these new consoles like this will be able to do it. For this one, it does have the Intel Core i7 1260p, and it does have the Iris Xe graphics on it as well with some smart cooling system. There's some more specs you guys could check out at a later time, and then this is the pricing. I think we're missing one from this list because
Yes.
it was on the other list. Um, but it was interesting enough. I was looking on their page the other day, looking at this stuff, and they actually had an image, and they were showing the frames each game runs as, and they were like, yeah, Forza Horizon 5 runs at like 70 to 120 frames per second, and they had an image of the game, and it was Forza Motorsport 5, and I was like, how do you fuck that up? That's a completely different game. Like Forza Motorsport 5 was from like 2012 or whatever. And then like you're talking about
Yep.
Forza Horizon 5, two different completely different games. So I was just like, yeah, I don't really trust you guys that much. But
Yeah, well, it kind of feels like a lot of these companies nowadays are kind of make stuff up.
yeah. The next one that was announced was a partnership between Razer and Verizon, and they're teaming up to build the first 5G gaming handheld. It's going to be powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon G3X Gen 1. And this one gives you access to games that you love, whether you're downloading them and play them locally, which is very important, streaming from your console, or access directly from the cloud. So this allows you to like remote access your consoles, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation, or if you want to access it via cloud for your Steam library and stuff. So let me see if I can bring up this one here. This one has like a quick little like video, like teaser video. Let's turn that down. Don't want to blow everybody's eardrums out. This one looks pretty cool. I mean, but I don't know when I'm gonna probably dive into like the handheld market. Like I have a Switch, and I don't really have a legitimate need to hop into like full console games. And this one's right around the corner though. This one comes out in 13 days. And of course, they partner with Xbox, so you'll be able to play Xbox cloud gaming on there as well. Roger, what's your take on all these handhelds that are coming out?
I got no interest at the moment. I'm not really on the go, and being the pandemic just finished up and everyone's still kind of working from home, I feel as though we're entering the wrong market here. This should have been pre-pandemic style gaming.
Right, this stuff would have been like prime, like
Yeah,
when people had
with
more hands
everyone
on.
still commuting and shit like that, this would have been the perfect time. And now we're entering, a possible recession in the US or across the world. And like People aren't going to have money to want to buy these in addition to whatever else they're playing on.
Yeah. But to end out our industry news, this is actually some good news coming from Activision Blizzard. Of course, we have to have Activision Blizzard one way or another in the industry news, and they're slamming a COD cheat maker with racketeering charges, and they're filing this over in California. This company is known as Engine Owning, and they just been producing tons of different cheats for the system. But really, the racketeering charges are really what's interesting. They're leading individuals that were like violating software terms and conditions, but like telling them it was one thing, but leading them to a different thing. So that's pretty hardcore, and I'm glad that they're finally slamming down on that kind of stuff because it's going to be really important for Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 to have
Well,
the
it's
tight
just a
security.
competitive scene is the thing. Like you're destroying an entire sports industry. It's like letting all these athletes dope up. It's like
All right,
you're killing your competitive scene because people who could be competitive are getting weeded out, and then these people make it at the top, and then they're turns out they're not.
right. So we'll follow that. We'll see how that case turns out because Activision Blizzard's obviously dealing with a lot of shit right now. But nonetheless, what's going on in the gaming news world? Obviously, industry was big, but what's going on in the gaming news
Dude,
specifically?
I feel like you don't think I know my alphabet because this shit's so long of a list, dude. It's like A to Z almost here. But let's start off with EA. EA announced a new game out of left field this past week here called Wild Hearts. Wild Hearts is a collaboration with Koei Tecmo. It's a Monster Hunter style contender. The game is about building base building while also having a Japanese style, like medieval Japan style combat system with magic and sort of that Monster Hunter vibe where like all the weapons are super accentuated and things like that. We saw our first glimpse now, but we will see extended gameplay coming here this week. It will be releasing in February of next year. We also saw that EA had a tweet last week where they tweeted they have a big announcement. Community thought this would either be Sims 5 or Need for Speed. We actually were disappointed that they just announced a contest for you to meet your best friend that you've played games online with, but never met in person.
Bro, this was like the ultimate like bait and switch. Like we know that Sims 4 just went free to play. There was some rumors in the round that Sims 5 is on the way. Obviously, we've seen the leaks from Need for Speed, and apparently we're going to cover that in a little bit. The more of what's going on with Need for Speed, but we're like, all right, cool. The official announcement is it time? Nope. We get this random ass contest that don't matter to probably 99% of us.
But we have some good news though in the gaming world from EA. Dead Space Remake will have zero loading screens. The entire game you can play through without hitting a loading screen once. They said that the next gen consoles and PCs should be able to play the game with zero loading screens. You just walk up to a wall and the next part of the game can load without, having to wait for anything to load, or you don't have to go up an elevator and wait for it to load. Everything works.
Yeah, I'm really eager to see how that plays out because like certain levels, typically even in games now like that we play with, have like a quick cut the black cut and it loads like that quickly.
You mean like
Dying Light 2, yes, I know.
Dying Light 2? You mean cut to black. Done talking to a villager, cut to black.
Yeah,
You've just killed something, cut to black. Yeah. No, I'm just glad to see that there weren't going to be any loading screens, and I honestly don't even remember loading screens when I played Dead Space the first time. But let's talk about something fun that's just sort of a move in the right direction. Battlefield 2042 stealthily re-added their secret gun reloads. So there's a chance anytime you reload one of 4 or 5 guns that you'll be able to see the secret reloads. One being that you, I believe, jam the clip up from the bottom and it comes out the top of the gun there, as you can see for the M416.
he like flips it up,
Yeah.
catches it,
Oh,
and
yeah, he
rotates the
flips
gun
it
back
around
out.
and catches it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the M60, he throws the gun away and just pulls more bullets out of the case, slaps that shit back in. We've got
Yeah, I got the M60 playing right now. They got to burn through the whole clip apparently. So hold on.
it's
So
like halfway through the video for each one of the reload
yeah,
animations.
so they show you the first reload of like how the standard one would be, and then they'll show you like what they do with the new secret one. He just drops the gun, picks up a
And
new
he
one, and
just,
puts the bullets
yeah,
on.
I'm good.
He reloads the gun and not the bullets. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. What's the
And
next
these
one?
are these are those classic Battlefield funny. And there's the reload I was talking about, where he shoves the clip up through the bottom and
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that they add like different stuff like this because it just makes the game just that more
just
enjoyable.
fun. I think it for a lot of people they'll be upset that it's kind of a joke and not serious, but and then the last one he turns into freaking Darth Vader here and just force grips a mag from across the map.
That's honestly fucking dope, to be honest. I'm pretty sure they grabbed that from one of the other EA studios that are working with Star Wars, and just was like, "Hey, can we borrow that asset of the force pulling technique?" But yeah, it was just those four weapons, which was pretty cool to see. Because I still play Battlefield 2042, so I'm eager to check
Yeah.
those out.
Next up, we've got Ubisoft has delayed Skull and Bones until
Yep.
March 9th, 2023. Sega has announced a new blockchain game. It's a collaboration with Japanese blockchain company Double Jump Tokyo, and it's based on the Sengoshi Tyson series. We also have a game from Team Ninja. They exclaim that they are opening and outsourcing a new Ninja Gaiden game, but only if it would exceed expectations.
Yeah.
So they're going to give it a chance.
Yes.
If it doesn't meet what they're looking for a Ninja Gaiden, they're just going to drop the project. So they're
Well,
essentially,
they haven't started it. They haven't outsourced it to
yeah.
anybody yet. They're just open to the idea of outsourcing it, but they have just so much going on with like Wolong, the new game that's coming out.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously, like we haven't seen a Ninja Gaiden game for so long, but everyone loves that franchise. But they're definitely
Hmm.
open to some other company taking it over to produce the next game.
As long as it meets what
Exceeds
they're looking
it says
for.
it has to
Yeah.
exceed expectation.
Exceed.
So like
Exactly.
likeliness of this happening probably slim to none. They'll probably take it on themselves, and but that probably won't be for a while from now.
Few years. Next up, we've got the finals. It's a new game from ex-Battlefield devs over at Embark Studios. It's going to be a team-based shooter. It's with completely destructible maps. So the idea will be that the whole map, like classic Battlefield, like Bad Company, the map is destructible. You can make it flat, okay? Just blow everything up.
Yeah, this one seems interesting. Like we've seen the
And
teaser.
not to mention the team sizes is what really is crazy.
Yeah,
We got 12-player lobbies where it's four teams of three players.
yeah, it's
So it's
interesting,
not a one-on-one, like it's not two teams.
right? So like we've been covering this like here and there. This is from Embark Studios, which was the Arc Raiders developer, which they put that game on hold, I guess, to finish this one and get the finals out first. But yeah, the whole destructibility, like the people who have actually seen it, like looks like they were like, how, like this shouldn't even be possible in a video game, but somehow they're doing it. But it's coming from ex Battlefield devs, and they're known for creating destructible maps, from their multiplayer.
Hmm.
So it kind of makes sense, but they're just taking it to the next level. And I think what helps them out in this is the fact that it is only 12-player lobbies. It's not 64, 128 players where they have a lot going on. Where 12 players, that's more manageable. Like the map's probably not as big either, and this game also includes like different like game show objectives in it as well. We don't really know much
Yeah.
outside of that, but
Well, you're essentially trying to collect something and then get it to a tower.
Mhm.
And the tower isn't just like in one spot in the map. You can literally just pick up the goalpost and start running with it.
Yeah, so
Like,
it's definitely dope. It's a pretty cool concept. So I'm eager to check it out. Right now, they do got a playtest that's going on until October 3rd, which tomorrow. It's not really open to that many people, but hopefully we see a
it's
beta
just in
soon.
alpha testing. But you can see gameplay right now on Steam if you want, and it will only be on next gen and PC.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's time to
Now,
leave
let's talk.
last gen behind.
Yeah. And talking about leaving last gen behind, something Cyberpunk 2077 should have done, but they didn't. And here we are, though, with the resurgence of Cyberpunk 2077. Is Cyberpunk 2077 back? They had 20 million units sold after the Edge Runners anime debuted and finished.
This is exciting, man. Like we're seeing that redemption arc that we were talking about 2 years
Yeah,
ago when
and
this game
honestly,
popped.
I watched Edge Runners the whole way through, and like it was pretty fucking good. And honestly, I just was blown away. I loved the animation. Studio Trigger did an amazing job, and the story was good. And I sat there and went, man, maybe I should play Cyberpunk again.
So
And
I
I'm
haven't
excited
checked
now
it out.
for the next. I'm excited for the next DLC. It's super fun.
Well, if you said you checked out Edge Runners, man, like I think it is time to check out Cyberpunk 2077 again because they have Edge Runners content in Cyberpunk
Hmm.
now that you can like basically stuff that you've seen in the anime. You can come back and kind of do in the game as well, and then like
Yeah.
you can get certain collectibles and meet certain people and whatnot. So I'm thinking about checking it out, but I gotta check out Edge Runners anime first before that. But yeah, definitely excited for the DLC. This might be a game that I actually return to for DLC.
Hmm. Next up, we got Phasmophobia. Player count triples after the new Apocalypse update. We see the concurrent player base go from about 17,000 to 56,000 players, which is actually quite interesting. The Apocalypse update for Phasmophobia is their major update. It's a custom difficulty called Apocalypse, and it's a challenge mode. You'll earn yourself trophies depending on the ability to complete objectives at the like get ghosts of photos in the Sunny Meadows Mental Institute with the custom difficulty. It also allows players to adjust the difficulty using custom difficulties now. So you can set like what your starting sanity is, the drain, sprinting allowance, sprint recharge time, duration, how much sanity pills restore. They allowed you to change ghost stats and contract setup. You also have a new location, which I had just mentioned, which is the
Hmm.
Sunny Meadows Institute as opposed to the current one. We also see that the Sunny Meadows Mental Institute Restricted is not only a large location, but five small locations in one. So then you can allow you to choose which one of those locations you want to play. And then there's Camp Woodwind, which is a small version of the Maple Lodge campsite featuring a brand new layout with less rooms and perfect for those looking for a quick outdoor retreat, they said. Now, these locations, just so you know, are actually level restricted. So you actually have to use your in-game level now that's been reset. And at level 19, you unlock Camp Woodwind, and at level 22, you get the restricted version of the new
Sunny
Sunny Meadows
Meadows.
Mental Institute. They also changed the traits for all ghosts, poltergeists, onis, demons, and jinn. And there's a new report system so that if you're playing with random players, you can get them fuck out of there, dude.
That's good. That's definitely good to hear. And it's crazy to think that Phasmophobia, like we used to talk about this game all the time on the show, and it's been kind of dormant for a while, and then out of nowhere, we completely forgot about this release of this update because this came out on the 27th of September,
Hmm?
and here we are. We're seeing the success
Yeah.
from that update. So do you plan on hopping back in, checking it out?
Not sure. My play group for Phasmophobia has kind of fallen apart, so I haven't really had time to play with anyone recently. But let's talk about Dark Pictures next, which is The Man of Medan and Little Hope both get free next gen upgrades for the game, and they're available now. So if you play those games and you want to see them in higher fidelity, check them out. They're free to play in the higher fidelity.
This is pretty interesting enough because these are two games that I wanted to check out eventually with you and maybe a couple of friends because I think you can play up to 5 players. I think these games because
The Dark Pictures, yeah.
the Dark Pictures anthology. So there's like 3 or 4 games out already, and the first two are now getting next gen upgrades, and I probably assume the next ones are on the way.
So it might as well just wait. Now we can start playing them and they look,
Yeah,
next gen. Don't get
yeah,
me wrong, we could have just played them on PC to begin with, but if you play them on console, they're next gen.
right. I mean, my PC would look terrible on it, so anyway, so I'd rather play it on my Xbox.
And then next up, we've got Dragon Blight from World of Warcraft. Got a release date this week. You will be able to see the new World of Warcraft expansion right after Thanksgiving. So on the 28th of November this year, Dragon Blight will be dropping. So if you like to play that day one, make sure you take off because that Monday you'll be able to see the new expansion.
So are you taking off? You hopping back in, or no way? Not World of Warcraft.
Can't do it. Can't do it anymore, dude. Too much of a commitment. Too much like the community is just not there for me anymore. My previous guild, people got Like even just like casual players got super sweaty, but then they were just like, I'm gonna be super sweaty, but when it came to raiding, they were like, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know how to play.
Oh,
And then
jeez.
drama. The drama, dude. Like everyone's like a fucking hard Republican somehow, or like,
Oh,
you know,
jeez.
far, far left. Like they are social justice warrior, crazy far left. And it's like, all right, guys. We don't need preaching. It's a video game. Both left and right. Shut up. I like
All right.
I'm not here to be in the middle. I'm not here to argue one side or the other. I don't care. We don't need the N word being dropped. Just please, just play
All
WoW.
right. What else is going on in the gaming world? I know we have a couple more things
Warner
here.
Brothers, multiverses, Rick and Morty are now in the game.
That's exciting.
So time to tag team some nerds in fucking multiverses with Morty and Marty. Sorry, I
Yeah,
apologize.
yeah. Remember, it's
Rick and Marty.
Marty. We're
Rick and
reliving an
Marty.
old episode, guys. But no, apparently he's
Yeah.
overpowered already. Like people have like been
Oh yeah. Well, Morty is
knocking,
too.
like they Rick. Well, Rick and Morty is like one character, and
Mhm.
so like people have been like going ham and like they'll knock out one person like twice in a matter of seconds, and I'm like, bro, that's crazy. So we'll
All
see.
right.
We'll see if he gets any nerfs anytime soon.
I hope. 'Cause that game feels it does feel unpolished at times.
Yeah,
Like it feels like you're not even chasing a moving target because some of the characters are just ridiculous and they're just like, we're gonna leave it.
yeah.
Next up, Overwatch 2. The executives of Overwatch 2 are interested in exploring Fortnite style brand crossovers. Maybe we're gonna see Fortnite X Overwatch 2.
Well, no, what the idea is like how Fortnite does like crossovers with
Yeah.
like Marvel and
They're
Star
looking,
Wars, and
yeah,
they want to do that in
in
Overwatch too.
Overwatch.
So
Yep.
you imagine playing Overwatch, you got Darth Vader just running around, you got Goku on the other side, you got Master Chief running around. Like that might be pretty damn crazy in an Overwatch game where that shit actually matters, where they actually have individual abilities and skills and stuff
Well,
like that.
they're probably just gonna be like reskins for certain characters.
Yeah,
Like
maybe.
you instead of playing, instead of playing like Zenyatta, you're over here playing as Aang from Avatar.
Right. So we'll see how that if that happens or not. But it's a cool concept.
And yeah, it just seems a little weird. But let's talk about some free games. If you like free games. Overwatch, October Amazon Prime games. You're gonna be yes, there you go. Soldier 76 is John 7, as 117 Master Chief.
Makes sense.
So, Amazon October Prime games though, we have Fallout 76 is free, Shadows of War for Middle-earth, Total War Warhammer 2, Heroes Hour, Horus, Glass Masquerade, and Loom. So if you like free games and you got Amazon Prime, go make sure you redeem your free games this month.
That's a solid lineup. At least the first three.
Yeah.
Fallout 76 is probably it. I don't really like Fallout 76, but I know it's a popular game, especially with all the updates they did. Like it had a nice redemption arc. But Middle Earth Shadow of War is probably the worst one of the two, because Shadow of Mordor, the first one, is a lot better than the second one. But Total War Warhammer 2, I know that you guys are really big into those.
Well, it's Warhammer 2. Honestly, if you're gonna get it on the system that you have Warhammer 3 on, because then you can play the full expansion. If you don't have all the games on the same platform as Total War Warhammer 3, you can't play the full campaign with all the characters because you don't have all the DLC or all the games on the same platform.
Mm,
It's a little annoying. So, like for me, I'm gonna get it all on Steam. I just need to be able to buy Warhammer 3 on Steam, and I'm like, I don't want to spend the money on it. I got it on Game Pass for free.
right, right. Game Pass is great.
Yeah. Let's talk about Game Pass competitor though. PlayStation, Sackboy: A Big Adventure is coming to PC. So another PlayStation exclusive is now coming to PC, and that's happening on the 27th of October. And then we've also got the list of the PlayStation Plus free games. If you like free games and you have your PlayStation Plus, make sure to redeem your Hot Wheels Unleashed, Injustice 2, and Super Hot.
Three solid games, honestly, especially what we're about to talk about with Xbox's free games. But Hot Wheels Unleashed was a really great game as one of the solid racing games, and it received like 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s this year or last year, whenever it released. Injustice 2, it's a solid game. We know about that one, and then Super Hot. That's a really fun indie developed game.
Honestly, I don't like the idea of super hot that's not VR because that shit was fire in VR, dude.
Yeah,
I
I can
punched
see
my
why.
ceiling enough.
What's going on in the
All right,
Xbox world, man?
all right. In Xbox, we've got a mineral camo Xbox wireless controller coming out.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and get the image
Uh,
of it here.
Go ahead. And while you're doing that, Phil Spencer says that Xbox is looking to let players disable quick resume.
This controller looks beautiful. I showed it to my fiance, and I was like, I need it. I definitely need it.
Dude, you got enough controllers, my friend. Like $70 for another controller. It's
Hmm.
like it's not even a well, it is, I guess. It's not a yeah, it's not an even elite, right? It's just a normal
Nah,
controller.
I rather. But these ones are
Oh,
nice, and I've been collecting all of them. Like I have like
yeah, I get that.
every
But like
controller that's came out so far.
and then next up we've got
Apex Legends data mining, Titanfall 2 maps coming via limited time mode. Call of Duty Warzone 2 Rebirth and Fortune's Keep will not be available when Warzone 2 launches. MW2 Camo challenges have leaked, so you get AR Camo challenges, 800 kills, 125 headshots, 160 stance change kills, which is like crouch or prone, 75 hipfire, 100 long shots, 100 mounted kills, 180 fully attached weapons, 50 reload kills, 110 no attachment kills, and a 35 street kill, which is 3 kills or more. And then they got all that for all the other subclasses of guns, just different
and they just
amounts.
change, some of them. Like for example, shotguns, you don't have to get headshots.
Next up, though,
Or
next
go
up
ahead.
was Silent Hill. There's an unannounced game gets a rating over in Korea, and apparently the leaked title is called Silent Hill: The Short Message. So we could be seeing a Silent Hill game right around the corner here. Next up, Far Cry 6. this this one came out of nowhere, but a leak shows that an upcoming Game of the Year edition, which could be just called Ultimate Game Edition, it's going to be coming with the base game, all three current DLCs, and one unannounced DLC called the Lost Between Worlds DLC. And just like the rest of the media and the rest of the industry, we're really confused on why they're going to call it the Game of the Year edition when it never received any such award on from anybody. So they're just like, okay, why is it called Game of the Year? So we'll see how that comes out. Next up, some more multiverses rumors or leaks in this case is the Joker voiced by Mark Hamill, which is a
Ooh,
classic, is rumored to be on the
I'm
way.
excited. I'm excited. If Joker gets added to the game, I know my new main. Like, be
Yeah,
honest, fuck dude, I love the Joker.
that'll be pretty badass. EA has been in the news whether it's good or bad here, but Need for Speed Unbound could be revealed in the next 2 weeks according to the rumors, and it could have a release date for December 2nd of this year. So we're looking at 2 months away. Game's not even announced or showcased or anything, but it's been leaked several times over. So we'll see if this is true. Next up, this is in regards to Disney via Star Wars, basically. But they want to release a new Star Wars game every 6 months, and basically they want to have one big Star Wars game and then like one smaller Star Wars game. So we'll see how that turns out. I hopefully it's not just going to be flooding the market too much because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I love Star Wars content. Like I'm even rocking a Star Wars shirt right now, but I think that could be too much if you're releasing a Star Wars game every 6 months. Next up,
Well, if you have a small game, I mean, like, it might be like a Tales from the Star Wars kind of game, and
yeah,
then you have like a big, you know, uh, big full-on
Jedi Fallen
game.
Order 3 and
Exactly.
whatever else they come up with.
But that means you have to have every year a Jedi Fallen Order style game, like something big.
Right. Next up, Google is back in the news because, man, did they fumble the ball here with Stadia all the way down to an exclusive that they could have had with a sequel from Death Stranding. Missed out on that one. Next up, GameStop is apparently struggling with fulfilling pre-order of games. I don't know how you struggle to fulfill these because you know how many copies you need because of the number that the pre-orders say, and then you get a couple more extra for in-store sales that day, and you're good. But you can't even
Like it's
fulfill them.
crazy that like they can't fill pre-orders because they're like, "Oh, we can't. We're struggling. We just nobody wants to buy from GameStop." Wait, too many people bought from GameStop? What the hell? How do we do this?
Right. So that'll be interesting to see how they fix that, and I hope I mean I don't really buy physical games anymore. It sucks because I love pulling from my collection here, especially when I showcases on the show. But we'll see how that goes. But last but not least, is Xbox is also in the rumors here. They have a leaked controller called the Lunar Shift, and the color changes based on light and motion. And the image that we seen, it was like an all gray and white controller, but apparently it like reflects different colors. So I'm actually curious to
It's
see
the
what that
mood
looks
ring
like.
of controllers.
Yeah, that'd be tough. You're like, I'm fucking pissed off, and you look down, your controller's red.
Call of Duty controllers always red. Don't know why. Don't know
I'm
why.
just
Play
angry
a
all the
different game. It's somehow blue. I don't get
time. But yeah, that's all the rumors that we had this week, and actually all of the news in total that we had. So you got any last comments or remarks to close out this week's episode?
Oh, thanks for joining us, guys, and I hope you join us again this week for more of our streams, and we'll see you again next week for another Press Start podcast.
And where can we find you at, Roger?
Hey, most of you know where to find me, but if you want to check me out and you don't know, I'm at twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion, and then you can find me on Twitter at Twitter/lunatic oblivion, no underscore.
And then, of course, you can check me out at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _ Xbox is X Never Space Chilling. You want a game party up, hit me up there. Facebook is Vic Brubacher. Question, concerns, you want to come on the show, make sure you hit me up there. And of course, I'm streaming over at my personal Twitter now, or Twitch now, a lot more at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin. So be on the lookout for my Assassin's Creed 2 streams coming out here this week. But we want to thank everyone again. But until next time, peace.